So one of my favorite thinkers is Orthodox Rabbi Mark B. Shapiro, and he had a fascinating post in April on this forum blog about why the insular Hasidic world in particular has had so many cases of covering up and defending of child abusers. And Rabbi Shapiro points out maybe they don't regard these child abusers as so terrible, and the evidence for this is obvious, because they continue to allow, in some cases, sex abusers to teach, refuse to turn them over to the secular authorities, and to warn the parent body. So if they'd caught the Rebbe eating at McDonald's, they would have fired him like that, but not so when it comes to fooling around with kids. Why? Why don't they regard child sexual abuse as so terrible? Here's a possible answer. And look at where these traditional societies get their information about human nature. I'm sure it's the same in traditional Jewish and Muslim society as well. The information they get, they regard as authentic and true, comes from their religious tradition. In Judaism, it's the Torah tradition. And if you look at traditional rabbinic literature, you won't conclude that child sexual abuse is as terrible as modern society views it. Yes, it is a sin. The person who commits it must repent, as he must do with all sins, but there's nothing in the traditional literature speaks to the great trauma suffered by the victim. This type of psychological evidence does not have much significance in the traditional Jewish, Christian, or Muslim world. So modern psychology is often attacked by figures in traditional communities. They don't give it much credence, especially not when it confronts their own religious tradition. And then you have this very typical case where religious people want to get their sexual jollies, just like non-religious people, so they try to figure out how to do it while committing the smallest amount of sin. And perhaps from some perspectives, you minimize the sin if you have sex with someone outside of the group, for a Jew perhaps with a non-Jew.